Page 23, Jingle Bells. Very famous melody. It's in a lot of method books and stuff. Around Christmas time or so. Let's look this over. We're not doing anything new. We're using what we learned. It's 4 lines long, treble and bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature, so we're in the key of C major. 4/4 time signature, so we're used to that. Now, since the hands are playing at the same time, I'm going to take it one hand at a time first, and then I'll see if I can put the hands together. So the right hand starts here, and that is the only finger number you need for the right hand. That second line, when they give you a 4, you can cross that out. You don't need it. The 4 is on the F anyway. You don't need the number. Please don't be reading these finger numbers. You just read the notes here. So we're in this position. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. You recognize the melody? Second line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And see, the 8th note's 4 and 1. I start counting the ands a beat early so I can get into it. So I do the 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 1. Because I don't want to count and all the time. I'm much too lazy for that. Left hand, a bunch of whole notes here. Thumbs here, and that's it. They don't give you any other finger numbers, which is good because you don't need them. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Isn't this fun? Oh boy. Second line, it's a B, 3, 4. Now it's an F sharp. Well, I'm going to use the same finger on the F for the F sharp. So I'm just reach up. It's a short finger, so you may have to come up a little bit. So it's the second line again is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then F sharp. 2, and now 2 notes at the same time. Ooh, think we better talk about that. Because playing 2 or more notes at the same time is different than playing 1 note. It's a different technique most of the time. A lot of times in 1 note, let's just take 1 note here, and I just going up and down. Just forget the music, we're doing this. I'm just transferring weight from finger to finger, and then I'm just lowering which finger I want the weight to be on. Well, when you got 2 notes at the same time, I want the weight to be on those fingers, but it's on 2 fingers at one time. Now, here, it's a G and a B. Both of them. So I'm going from here to here. That's tricky. I'm rolling that weight from the little finger over to the other. And 2 fingers are down instead of 1. It's tricky to get them down at the same time, but it's important. So listen carefully that they go down at the same time. I don't always do it, but maybe you can. And if you're struggling with it, then do it 1 finger at a time. Go from the F sharp to the B. Can you do that? And now try the F sharp to the G. Now go here, both. If 1 finger is a little late all the time, see I'm late with the B every time, then focus and concentrate on that finger. Make that finger go down at time, and the other finger hopefully will behave itself. Focus on this finger. There, and get them down at the same time. That takes practice. It's going to take some time to learn to play more than 1 note at a time. Of course, in piano we do this all the time, so it's important practice. You'll get it. And then the last line is the same thing here, except now you're coming from a C down. You want to go here. Rotate weight from the thumb to the other hand. Thumb, the other hand. These 2 fingers are down. If one finger's early all the time, something like that, then concentrate on the finger that's late and get it down and let the other finger hopefully behave itself. And this motion of this is very slight because I can transfer weight with hardly moving at all. I move a lot so you can see it better in the camera, but it's really a very slight motion. Don't hold the hand still and try and use the fingers. Please, that'll lead to some problems, so let's not do that. And then the last measure, it's a 2-beat rest, and I suggest you just reach down. It's a C down here. You're welcome if you want to lift up. You got 2 beats to lift up and come down, but I like to feel my way around the keyboard. So since I'm here, I'm going to use this as my anchor. Even though I'm not playing it, I'm using this as my anchor, and I'm coming down to that one. And then relax. That's just, there are different ways of feeling your way around the keyboard. It isn't like one way is right and one way is wrong. There's just different ways to do it. Now let's put the hands together and see what happens. We're here in middle C position, and you got these are down, but the whole note's in the left hand. And now nothing for the left hand. Now here, the second line. Now it's here. These are together, and then these are together. And now these are together, and these. I got all 3 notes. You do that some more. You go through and put the hands together, and then go work on the hard parts, the parts where you're hesitating and having problems, and go over those a few dozen times or whatever it takes, and get rid of any hesitation so it's a steady beat throughout the whole piece. Keep it slow, doesn't matter, but it's got to be a steady beat, no hesitations. And eventually you want to play this without looking at the keyboard too. So you can feel this, and you can get these without looking. Now the last measure you may need to look to come down here. That's fine if you have to, but I'd prefer, if possible, you feel this here. If you use this as the anchor, you can reach down. However, you're welcome to look down for that. I'll let it okay. Now once you have the notes and the rhythms working out, no hesitations, and we think about the interpretation, the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. You can drop the wrist on the natural accents if you want. Left hand's just playing whole notes, so we wouldn't worry about it. And then we can think about the phrasing. Well, if you follow the sentences, look at the commas. You see the first line's got commas in these. Lift up. And the second line's all one phrase. At the end of the second line, lift up, lift up, lift up. And the last line's all one phrase. Now, if the first and third line is too choppy, that is choppy because you're lifting up between each measure almost, then maybe you experiment a little bit. Maybe you play the first 2 measures together. Then lift up. I can split it and make 2 phrases. Or, since the second and fourth line is all one phrase, maybe I'll make the other lines all one phrase, the whole line. Lift up. There's different ways of interpreting the music. Different people like it differently. That's fine. Experiment. Try them all out. Which way do you like? And there. I don't like short, choppy phrases. That's just a personal thing for me. So I don't think I would have each measure being a phrase. That's too choppy. I want it to flow more. So I'm going to go ahead, for my interpretation, I'm going to go ahead and treat each line as a phrase. I'm going to connect the whole line together and then lift up at the end of the line. Talking about it, I should remember the idea I was talking about earlier in a few videos ago about bring out the melody. We want to hear the melody. The melody's what it's about. The melody rules. We're here to hear the melody. Well, in this piece, the melody's in the right hand. We want to hear the right hand. This left hand needs to be in the background. So the right hand's going to be a little heavy, and the left hand's going to be light. I want to hear that note. This is soft. The last measure, the second line, even though I got 2 notes down and 1 note here, that's the note I want to hear. That has to be soft. If you can get them down at the same time. I can't, maybe you can. Here, we want to hear the melody. So be thinking about that too. Now if you're struggling just to get the notes and all, you can forget all that. Just go ahead and get the notes. But hopefully then you'll go back through the book multiple times, and each time you get a little better. You'll be able to play the pieces a little faster and a little more easily, or less difficult. And then you can think about more of bringing out the melody. Let's play this together very slowly and double check the notes and the rhythms. Now I'm not going to bring out the melody here. I'm going to play both hands about the same. I need you to hear all the notes. But I am going to lift up between the phrases, which for me is going to be the end of each line. You can lift up however you see fit. So I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four, off.